Hello everyone, Freddy Krueger here, the storyteller of Horrorfest 4 for this year. And today I'm going to read you a creepypasta called The Real Chuck E. Cheese. Let's get started. The Real Chuck E. Cheese. Have you ever thought that there was something the creators of Chuck E. Cheese were hiding? Something from us all? Or have you ever found something to be off about the place? Even the crew of robotic mascots that dance on stage. I didn't until I found out the truth about Chuck E. Cheese. That had only been the first time I had ever visited the place. I was on the age of 5 or 6, so of course I was pretty excited to go. Seeing all those commercials of kids eating pizza and running around without a care in the world, on arcade games, on the play structure made me almost get down on my hands and knees, and plead and beg my mom to take me. After finally getting her to break, she took me. I was the happiest kid in the world. My mom drove me over just a few hours before evening, so maybe around 4:30 or so. I almost knocked over the woman at the door who gave you the little stamp on your hand running ahead of my mom and bursting through the doors like a maniac child. Eventually, I was stamped and literally screeching as I ran around to all the games and playsets. After a bit, I stumbled on over to a game, like a whack-a-mole but with sharks, right by the staff-only room. One shark whacking in it later, I'd won the game. Before I could squeal into space and collect my tickets, my ears caught the sound of something very strange going on near the staff-only room. I could hear someone say, "Test number 15 on mutated ret results and angered behavior such as throwing desk and scientists on the wall." I then began to wonder what in the world they could be talking about. Maybe they were making a new game. Being so young, I had no idea at all what was actually going on there. Being curious and feeling a bit interested, I pressed myself against the door and listened in as carefully as a 6-year-old could. I could hear them snapping at each other. Things like, "What are we going to do with this beast?" and "Get it away from me." A mumbled shout poured over whoever was in there and replied with a louder, "We can't! Just kill that thing! It's a beast! Version of our mascot!" The talking stopped. I blinked for a second and pressed myself closer to the door. I quickly realized that this was a very bad mistake as the door opened from my weight against it. I slipped in, going from leaning on the door to falling face flat on the ground on the staff room. Immediately, footsteps trampled over to me, hands grabbing my arms. I was out like a light. In a few seconds, and I still don't know what the heck they did to that. I woke up slowly, my eyes feeling heavy and my body feeling weak. In some kind of interrogation room, a tall man with a serious expression, wearing the cleanest white lab coat I'd ever seen, began walking toward me, of the blue. Like he knew I'd be awake, like he knew I was awake. His voice was deep and it was scratchy from what I could tell when he began to speak. You know, don't you? You know, he said. I was 6 years old, half knocked out at Chuck E. Cheese, so I didn't know what they expected from me. I babbled for a second, letting my tongue function correctly. "What?" I replied dumbly, blinking hazily. He grabbed my arm, making the static feeling intensify somehow. He pulled me a bit, making me whine, though I quickly shut my toddler trap when a loud banging on the door echoed through the room. Naturally, for me being so young and clueless, I screamed, thrashing around. The man let go of me, snapping at me to shut my mouth. Forgetting about almost everything, I thrashed around. Some more slipping out of my chair. I kicked my legs, going into the corner of the room. I screamed again, banging my foot against something making a loud metal clang against my foot. I twisted around and whined down an air vent. I kicked it again out of scared, hot anger with another loud scream and clanged the metal front topped off. Again letting out a shriek when I heard the man stopping toward me, out of the noise of clawing metal and banging. I scooted inside, spitting at him. I was scared half to death. What was I doing here? Where was my mom? He swiped at me for a moment, but quickly pulled his hand back. There was another loud bang, and the man stepped back, using my tiny little hands. I grabbed the air vent's door and pulled it back, pressing on the door just in time. A piercing hiss was followed by the shout from the stranger, and the loudest bang on the door. I crawled back, scooting back into the vent. I had to leave. Even being so young, I knew I was in trouble. I hastily turned around with a bit of struggle, slowly crawling down the vent. A loud manly scream echoed, "Ah!" Though the vent being followed by more, they were the unison unit something. They were unison with the sound of cracking and tearing, which I know now was flesh and bone from the stranger. I got out as fast as I could. A small light was around the corner after a few minutes, and I stomped on it. The opening of the vent easily popped open. They really weren't paying attention to how tightly they were screwed on, were they? My feet stumbled as I climbed out, but were soon trampling to where I saw my mom last. And she was still there, and worried, searching on her face. I ran up to her, hugging her tight. My eyes were now glazed in wet, hot tears. I wanted to go home. I just wanted to go home. I whined and complained. My lawyer gave me a strange look, but put a finger on my cheek. You must be tired, sweetheart. He cowed me, picking me up, and clenched my small fist, holding it tightly onto her shirt. We walked out of the building, me being oh so lovingly carried to the car. Where signs of distance became a bit louder and louder. The police cars pulled to a large parking lot and skidded to a halt in front of the once amazing and fun Chuck E. Cheese. My mother almost ran to the car and quickly buckled me into my car seat. A couple of hours later, home and safe that night, I walked out of my room and get some water. Before I went to bed, a habit of me trying to procrastinate so I didn't have to sleep, and my mother was watching the news. The reporter was talking about some kind of mutated rat coming out of Chuck E. Cheese, like disappearing down the alleyway. So what happened to the real Chuck E. Cheese, God only knows. But I will never, and I repeat, never go into any Chuck E. Cheese for as long as I live. And that's my creepypasta reading on the real Chuck E. Cheese. Not really scary. Ooh, look out, a mutated rat coming out of Chuck E. Cheese. I'm scared. So, that's my first one. So, hope you enjoyed that. To be honest, that's not really scary. It's like, okay, a giant rat comes out of Chuck E. Cheese, and ooh, I'm terrified. I'll read more during the month, so, yeah, maybe Slender Man, Jeff the Killer, anything else, Eyeless Jack, anything else, not just creepypastas, but other scary stories, not a scary story, bug, blah, 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 so I'll keep you posted. Happy October, and, yeah.